So, the biggest knock on Xbox for the last 6 to 7 years has been the platform's lack of its story driven single player experiences. Meanwhile, this is something that Sony has become known for heavily during that time. And with the introduction of Xbox Game Pass as a platform, many detractors against Xbox have started pushing this narrative that Xbox is trying to kill single player games and replace everything with games as a service. Well, in a recent interview, Phil Spencer shed some light on Xbox's thought process for bringing single-player games to their platform. And we've also got some comments from Phil Spencer regarding the PS5's Dualsense controller and how it could possibly inspire changes to the Xbox controller. So, let's get right into it. In an interview with The Guardian, Phil Spencer answered a few different questions, but one in particular stood out among the rest. When asked, is there still room for traditional forms of narrative games on Xbox Series X, Phil responded with the following. I think we're probably building more of those now than we've been in the history of Xbox. Platform holders, whether that platform is subscription or a hardware device or a store, are actively investing in new and probably more risky things. Because if it works, we get value out of bringing players into the ecosystem. And the end of that quote brings up an excellent point about the Xbox ecosystem. Will there be live service games? Absolutely. But you can't forget about bringing in an audience who wants single player experiences. And the more single player experiences you give these people, the more attractive it makes your platform, which in turn grows your ecosystem. Because right now, the way I see it, both PlayStation and Xbox have things that they excel at, and for PlayStation, it's single-player games, but for Xbox, it's multiplayer games. But if Microsoft can solidify themselves in the single-player genre as well, then that's going to be a massive step forward for the platform. Because we already know that PlayStation is working hard to rectify their multiplayer problem with third-party partnerships with teams like Firewalk Studios for new multiplayer IP. So for right now, it looks like the competition is heating up on both sides. But there's something else in that Phil Spencer quote that stands out, and that's the fact that he says that Xbox is working on more single-player games now than ever before. And that's something that gets me excited, especially when you consider the fact that there's still so many things we don't know when it comes to Microsoft's first-party studios. Things like Compulsion's next game, and Exile's next first-person RPG, the next Machine Games game that isn't Indiana Jones, or what about id Software's next game? Do they continue making games in the Doom universe, or do they branch out and do something entirely new? What about the Coalition? We already know that they're working on something outside of the Gears universe, but what could it be? And there's even rumors of Obsidian having a fourth game in development alongside Grounded, Avowed, and Outer Worlds 2. So what the hell could that be? I mean, I already know what I'm hoping it is, but that's besides the point. I mean, there's still so much we don't know, and when you pair that with the things that we do know, like Halo Infinite, Perfect Dark, Avowed, Starfield, Fable, Hellblade 2, Outer Worlds 2, Indiana Jones, Gears 6, I mean, the list goes on and on. But really the point of all of this is to say that if you're on Xbox and you're mainly a single-player gamer, then you can rest assured that you will have more single-player experiences than ever before coming your way over this next generation of games. But that's not all I'm going to be covering in today's video, because we've also got some statements from Phil Spencer regarding the PS5's Dualsense controller and how it may inspire some changes for future controllers for Xbox. And this comes our way via today's brand new interview with Phil Spencer over on the Kinda Funny Games YouTube channel, which you should definitely all go check out. And I'll have a link to that interview in the description for all of you. But when the topic of PS5's Dualsense controller came up, Phil had this to say. We're definitely thinking about different kinds of devices that can bring more games to more places. There's probably some work that we'll do on the controller. I think that Sony's done a nice job with their controller, and we kind of look at some of that, and there are things that we should go do. Now, does this mean that Xbox plans to completely imitate everything the PS5 controller does? I seriously doubt it. But I could certainly see Xbox releasing maybe an Elite 3 controller with some of the features from a PS5 controller. Maybe add adaptive triggers or enhanced haptics, who knows. I mean, honestly, I kind of think the Xbox controller is perfect the way it is right now. They've nailed the size, they've nailed the forwards and backwards compatibility with these new and old controllers. Plus, I mean, the thumbstick placement is just, that's the way a controller should be, in my opinion. But that's really all I got for today's video. Leave a comment below and let me know what you guys think about the single-player focus for Xbox going forward, as well as possible revisions to their controllers. Leave a like if you liked the video, and please remember to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can stay on top of my videos when they're released. I want to start making content more frequently than I have been over the past few months. I think 2 to 3 videos a week is a pretty solid goal for this channel, but it really depends on all the news that comes out in the gaming space and what news I'd like to cover. Because I really don't want this channel to become a place where I just put out videos covering things I don't really care about just to hit some arbitrary quota of videos for the week. But with that being said, I will definitely be making more content for you guys. But until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.